반갑습니다. 비트7입니다. 비트맥스 창업자 아서헤이즈가 2024년 5월 7일 오늘 인터뷰를 해주었는데요. 2024년에는 72,000달러를 보고 있다. 그 이후에는 4개월에서 18개월 이후에는 사상 최고치를 달성한다고 했는데요. 인터뷰를 한번 들어보겠습니다.
If you could give us your price outlook for Bitcoin in terms of, let's say, end of the year, end of this bull market, what sort of price range are you looking at?
So, I mean, you can look at the previous halvings, and so end of the year, I think we're going to be between $70,000 to $100,000 on the price of Bitcoin end of 2024. Anywhere between 4 to 18 months later, you get a new all-time high. The more important thing is that the major economies around the world are going to print even more money between now and, say, the next 18 to 24 months. I think the big event that crypto investors need to follow very closely is the upcoming U.S. presidential election. Not because the U.S. is important just because it's the U.S., but more so it's the global empire, its financial policy influences what the Chinese, the Japanese, the Europeans all do. And so if you have an easing of monetary policy because Janet Yellen, U.S. Treasury Secretary, and Jerome Powell, the Fed president, are doing everything they can to make sure that Joe Biden gets reelected, and that basically means, how do I reduce the cost of government borrowing so that him and his Democratic Party can hand out more goodies to the electorate and get reelected? That's what's going to happen between now and the end of the year. When you control the purse of the government, it's very easy to do so by printing money, borrowing it, and handing it out to people in various forms.
So essentially, you think the American elections are going to be a net positive for the crypto market?
Regardless of who wins. Whoever wins, they're campaigning on, I'm going to give you something that you don't have to pay for. And I'm going to pay for it by borrowing more money. I'm going to pay for it by using the central bank to print money. And that's really what the fight is about. The bull market is still going to continue. Obviously, we've slowed down a bit. And now we're entering the summer, the Northern Hemispheric summer, where things slow down, volatility declines, and we're going to get a choppy range bound market. But for those people who have fiat and extra cash that want to allocate to crypto, this is the perfect opportunity to do so.
So one of the macro indicators that seem to have the biggest impact on the price of Bitcoin is M2, so global liquidity. In previous years, we saw how that indicator skyrocketed during the COVID pandemic when governments were injecting massive amounts of capital into the economy in order to prevent it from collapsing. And then we saw that later in 2022, that indicator started going down, and now it's pretty much flat. So I guess that indicator should go up again in order for Bitcoin to resume its bull run.
The problem with M2 is that it doesn't capture all the things that are used as credit money in the economy. And every time there's a new problem, the elites in charge come up with a new way to confuse people about how they're going to print money. So maybe it's M2. Maybe it's broad banking reserves. Maybe it's the reserves held at the central bank. It depends on every single economy and how they want to print money. But at the end of the day, the goal is, how do I stuff more credit money through the economy without getting a negative reaction from the populace being like, oh, what's all this inflation?
One saying Bitcoin is not going to perform as well as in previous cycles. Others saying it's going to perform so much better because of these spot Bitcoin ETFs. What is your take in between these two narratives?
So I go back to the first thing I said, was that the thing that got us from 2009 to 2024 in that massive central bank printing, government spending, that's going to continue. Now, the addition of the ETF is very important because now there will be a downturn in the price of Bitcoin at some point. But I think that our expectations need to realign with the fact that there's going to be even more money printed by the major economic blocks between now and the next bear market.
What do you think is a signal that people should look at in order to understand the peak of this bull cycle? How can people understand that we reached the top?
Probably you're going to start seeing some sort of positive real rate. And I define the real rate as your 10-year government bond minus nominal GDP. Or maybe there's going to be some major global conflict and a reordering of the economic and both political situation between the major powers. That sort of will culminate in obviously some orgy of money printing. And after that, our expectations might just get ahead of us. And that probably is a signal that it's time to, come down in price. Do I have a specific thing I'm looking for? No, it's more of a feeling. The fact that we're we just passed 70,000. Now we're bound at, I don't know, 63 or 64,000 Bitcoin. And people are questioning whether that was the end of the bull market. And we just started. I mean, this run, it really just started in November of 2023. Well, I would say that probably means that we're not even close, because we have people inside of the ecosystem are still doubting it. When you hear everyone saying we have fundamentally changed the cycle of Bitcoin could never go down. When I start hearing more and more of that from people who are doubting it at this point in time of the cycle, then I'll start to get a bit more worried that our expectations of what money printing can do for Bitcoin are getting ahead of what will actually happen. But I don't think we're there yet.
So in some of your previous interviews, you said that you were pretty excited about Solana and the ecosystem around it. At the same time, you said that the Solana blockchain is dog shit, I guess because of these outages that have been affecting Solana in latest months. So what in general is your view on Solana?
I like Solana as a trading vehicle, as a high crypto beta momentum play. So I buy Solana when I think the market's about to start pumping. I'll sell it when I think there's going to be, a downturn, and I'll just play the yo-yo as it goes on. Do I think it has a fundamental way to beat Ethereum? No, I think it's suffering from the same things that ETH suffered from in its come-up cycle, right? You had an advertised throughput when in reality, it's not there. And there's various reasons for that. I'm sure that's the Solana developers are hard at work trying to fix them. They've done a good job in creating a culture around meme coins, a good UI UX in some of their applications, but at the end of the day, was it the 10 or 20,000 or 100,000 transactions per second that was advertised to the community is complete bullshit. That doesn't mean that the chain doesn't work or that it doesn't provide value. It's just another example that you were able to bring something successful to Solana, meme coin trading, and it broke the network. Now, does that mean that it's going to go to zero? No. I do think there's a very engaged community that likes to buy and hold this thing, and therefore it's an easy trading vehicle. It's very liquid, but I don't see it long-term.
People were looking for more positive bullish narratives. One of them was the potential approval of a spot Ethereum ETF. I talked to a few analysts, Bloomberg analysts. They said that now they don't necessarily expect that to happen anytime soon. What do you think?
I guess define soon. I said probably in the next 12 to 24 months, I think there'll be a spot Ethereum ETF, there'll be a Solana ETF, there'll be every single other cryptocurrency ETF that any of these fund managers can get through. Because if the Bitcoin one did so well and they're making so much money doing this, why wouldn't you do it for all other cryptocurrencies? These are passive investing behemoths. They don't have a view on whether Ethereum or Solana or Bitcoin is good or bad per se.
Arthur, I just want to ask you if you could give us your price outlook for Bitcoin in terms of, let's say, end of the year, end of this bull market. What sort of price range are you looking at?
So end of the year, I think we're going to be between $70,000 to $100,000 on the price of Bitcoin end of 2024. My, long-term sort of this cycle all-time high, anywhere between, I think it's going to be somewhere close to $1 million US for one Bitcoin on the upside. That's my prediction. I hope we get there. If we get even close, that'll be good.